Gayatri Mahamantra, we are back straight. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Invocation of the Divine Master. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Deva Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Akhanda Mandalakaram, Vyaptam Yena Characharam, Tatpadam Darshitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Om Shri Guruve Namaha. व्यासरूपेण आवाहयामि स्थापयामि ध्यायामि पूजयामि ततो नमस्कारं करोमि. Shrimed Bhagavad Gita Vibhuti Yoga, verse number 12 to 17. All the 6 verses have been assigned to the timeless Arjuna, who, after now listening to various kinds of properties, excellence of the Almighty Krishna, has now come under such an impression that none other than Krishna itself can convey anything about its own self. I am particularly using this term it because it is an indicator to what? The infinite, the Almighty, the all-pervasive, the omniscient, omnipresent. It's an indicator which is equally present in Gayatri Mahamantra in a different form as Tat, that. That is also an indicator. It's not a name, it's an indicator. So Arjuna is now giving an indication in one single term, which will come in verse number 17, although I will bring the verse before you, in which he mentions him as Yogeshwara. Yog Ishwar, one who bears the discipline of enjoyment, of emancipation, becoming one with that infinite. That is Yogeshwara, the Ishwar of the yoga. Arjuna, in different terms, conveys that even the exalted ones, the Brahma Rishis known as Vyas, etc., the names are there, even they have conveyed that nobody can ever be able to encompass in words the entirety about you. You are infinite. How can infinity be brought into any definition except the term infinity? There can be no detail that can suffice infinity. You go on mentioning, and it's insatiable, will go on, shall never end. So, the best thing is, this is the understanding which I draw from the verses. Not that all these words are there in the scripture. No, not like that. The understanding I'm drawing. You know me better, Krishna. You know my capacities better. You know the level of my understanding better. You know all about me. So, therefore, convey about yourself to me. You yourself can convey about yourself. Considering my capacities, my limitations, convey me. What all are you? So that, the purpose is why I'm asking you that, Arjuna, so that whatever you mention, under all those mentioning, I will cite you. For example, if you say that I am the Gayatri, then for me, Gayatri Mantra is not an ordinary punctuation of the words anymore. Or it is not merely the triggers to certain cosmic vibrations. Or it is a highly sanctified mantra. No. For me, now it is you. It is that. For me, if you say that I am Gayatri, no, then for me, Gayatri is you. When I'm propitiating, whether I'm experiencing incantation of Gayatri Mahamantra, for me, it is you right now. I'm within you. I'm in oneness with you. So that is why I want you to express about yourself. Give me some more definitions about yourself, some more indicators about yourself, so that I can connect to all those things, all those mentioning of yours, and find my part of oneness with you. Because I may think and perceive about you something which you're not. And here, particularly, a word has been mentioned about the Lord as rhythm. The nearest meaning of the word rit in Hindi is satya, which is truth. Whereas one of the exalted masters has differentiated satya and rit. Let me reiterate, in normal parlance, when it comes to define the term rit in Sanskrit, the nearest meaning is truth, satya. But this exalted one has created a slight discrimination between both the rit and satya. According to that master, because this is an opportunity for me to talk about a term which holds great significance in the ancient Indian wisdom, and that is rit. One who bears rit is the rishi. Rit has so many meanings, so many connotations. So the master conveys that rit is not satya, is not truth. Truth can be something which you experience. You withstand yourself as testimony to that experience and you say, this is truth. Maybe it is not actually a truth, it is something else. Within your ambit of your sensorial confinement, you experience something and you say, it is truth. For you, it is truth, no doubt, because within the ambit of confinement of the senses, you experienced it and you said it is truth. But in actual, if you go on to analyze the fact, it may not be truth. For example, if I say this is a brick, if I hold a brick and it says brick, it's a brick because I'm experiencing it as a brick. It's hard, it's matter, it's a composition of clay and has been baked very hot, tight. But in fact, if I go beyond and want to understand the exactness of the brick, then it goes on to the atomic ends. No doubt it's a truth for me, but in fact, it is not the only truth. Now, here, Rit is different from the truth. Truth has confinements. Rit is something which you experience, you withstand yourself as testimony to that truth. The same truth has also been mentioned by certain exalted ones, the seers, in their own subtle experiences, esoteric experiences. And the same fact has also been well mentioned in the scriptures. So it has now three endorsements. Your experience, you withstand that. The mentioning of the seers about the same experience, and also a mentioning in the scriptures about the same fact. So that becomes Rit. So here, Rit and truth are two different identities. So here he has termed that you are the Rit. You are the Rit. Well mentioned by all the great masters. And nobody can ever claim to have understood you. No one in the divine kingdom and no one in the demonic kingdom. No one. Because divine and demonic, the two major classification of the existence. There can be many kind of entities, but these are two major ones that imbibe within themselves with these most prominent features that are even beyond senses. Even they cannot express about you. They have their own limitations to talk about you. So you alone are the rightful person, the rightful identity, it that can express about itself. So I lie down flat. In obedience, I lie flat. I'm flat. I've got nothing left with me as my arsenal of any kind of doubt, ambiguity, criticism, dilemma, dichotomy. No, nothing. Come express yourself about your own self, so that whatever is your pronouncement, that sermon for me, then from there onward shall become the object of contemplation, the objective of contemplation. Then I will not ask any further question, but merely gather oneness in that. Whatever you say, whether it is mantra or a mountain or a river or whatever, anything that you mention that it is, then for me it is no more a object. I'll objectify it. I'll say, come Krishna, explain to me about your Ishvara. This is what he's conveying in all these 6 verses. In a way, in the midst of the chapter, almost in the midst, if not exactly in the midst of the chapter, not exactly, but almost, you can say, he has given a pause to Krishna. Krishna was going on about itself, but he gave him a pause, as if he was so excited to listen more. Although Krishna wanted to say more, but irresistibly he gave him a pause and said, "You alone can tell me. You please go on, explain and express about your own self." Let's see the same in the verses, how it expresses. Let's get down to this. Verse number 12 and 13 are before you. Param Brahma Param Dham Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. You are the Parabrahma, the Almighty, the pure one, because there can be nothing that is pure beyond you. And you are Param. That Param means the epitome. Not nothing beyond you. You are Param. Purusham Shashvatam. You are eternity. You are the source for this creation. Since eternity, for eternity. Divyam, divine, Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. You are the unborn divinity. And you are present everywhere, omnipresent. You are omnipresent. You don't have any confinement. You're even there where we can imagine there is nothing. To be very precise, you're even there where one can imagine as nothing. Ahuhu tvam rishayah sarve dev rishi naradaha tatha asitaha devalah vyasa swayam cha eva bravishi me. Even the greatest of the exalted ones, including Narada, the Dev Rishi, Asit, Deval, Vyas, even they talk about the same about you. They hold the same understanding about you that no one has been ever able to express all about you. Sarvam etat ritam manye yatamam vadasi keshavaha na hite bhagavan vyaptim viduhu devaha na danavaha. Sarvam etat ritam. I accept you as Rit. Right. A while ago, I discriminated Rit from Satya. Ritam is an most elated order of truth. If at all truth is the nearest you can connect with, then the most elated order. You are the Rit. And whatever you say, Keshava, under the matrix that you've spread, the Leela, the Maya that you've shared, none, none from the divine kingdom or from the demonic can ever express anything about you. I understand that. Swayam ev atmana atmanam vith tvam purushottam bhut bhavan bhutesha deva deva jagatpate. You alone know about yourself. Oh, this source of the highest order, Purushottam. You are the source to this entire creation, and you are the only source which is at the highest order. You alone know about yourself, because from you everything has sprung. You are the source for the entire creation, the manifestation of entire creation. You are the source to all beings, whether animate or inanimate. You are the discipline for all of them. Ishwar, you are the discipline for all of them. You are the God of the gods. You are the Lord of the entire creation. Keshava. Next in the verses, Vaktum arhasi asheshen divya hi atmibhutayah yabhi vibhutibihi lokan imanatum vyapyatishtasi. He is reiterating the same understanding again and again. Lord, O Lord, the eternity, the infinity. You alone can talk about yourself at length. None else about your own features, about your own properties, about your own goodness, about your own magnanimity, about all of your excellence. Who else? No one else can say that. Because with all those excellence of the highest order, it's you alone that is pervasive all over. Wherever we find anything in existence, it's nothing else but you and you alone, because you are all pervasive. What do you mean by all pervasive? All pervasive means that if at all anything exists, it is it. It is it. If anything is excellent, whether as a human, in any form, or as a mountain, or as a mantra, or as a river, if it is excellent, the highest, then it is you, because you are all pervasive. So, who else can tell us about you? No one. This you and you alone can tell about yourself. Katham vidyam aham yogin tvam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintayah asi bhagavan maya. How can inform to me, how else can I contemplate upon you? Hey, Yogeshwara, oh, the discipline of the yoga. Yoga means the way to enjoin this microcosmic entity with your macrocosmic entity, from a limited self to the highest self, highest consciousness. You are the discipline to that. Inform to me, how else can I contemplate upon you? In what other forms I can contemplate upon you, the Lord? Because as a human, this also carries an understanding that as a human, when we contemplate or meditate, there is also a need of a newness, because the mind has not dissipated in entirety, and mind has a tendency to seek newness. If you go on meditating on one dharana, on one objective, then after a passage of time, you have something new to usher, something different. That seeking of variety remains to a great length of time into the journey of a seeker. So tell me, O Lord, in what other forms can I worship you? Can I contemplate upon you? Because you are the right source and you alone can inform me. I may misunderstand, misconstrue. I may be knowing what is Satya, but I don't know what is Rit. I may be knowing what is Satya, but I don't know what is Rit. And Rit and Satya they have a great difference now. They have a great difference. Rit is my own experience, what I've experienced within my limited confinements, 180-degree. Whereas Rit is not my own understanding, it is equally an establishment by the exalted ones who could see the entirety 360-degree in their vision. And at the same time, it is also well mentioned in the scriptures. When we say scripture, it means something which has been scientifically proved by a great exalted team and now has been established as a principle, as a law. So that scripture, that's why holds much significance. So Rit means something I experience, equally endorsed in their vision of the great exalted one, and also find its mention in the scriptures. So give me more ways to contemplate upon you, so that whenever I feel, I want to connect with you. I'm not left with only one source of contemplation. I can think about it, I can think about that, I can think about even something else where I can connect with you. That you are all over, you are there too, you are there, you are there, you are everywhere. So that's how, in a great submission and dedication, Arjuna has now put forth his deepest yearning before the Lord, so that in the verses to come in the chapter, the quest will always remain, should remain within a seeker, but in the verses to come in this chapter, now the Lord Krishna has been insisted upon, persisted to continue and go on expressing in what other forms can we contemplate upon him. What other forms we can contemplate upon it. That's the right term. That was all for the day. ओम ही सत्य है, ओम ही सत्य है, ओम ही सत्य है.